Most kids dream of being dolphins, gliding effortlessly through the water, flipping, diving, looking cool. Me? I was not a dolphin. I was more like a barnacle, specifically a barnacle permanently attached to the blue tiled railing of the swimming pool. That railing, that was my entire world, my safe space, my comfort zone. And you know, when you first start to swim, you get this little rectangular plastic board sort of thing which we call the kickboard. That kickboard, that was my security blanket. I was convinced that if my hand left this board, I will drown to the depths of the swimming pool. CC evaluator and my fellow Gavaliers, let me take you to my comfort zone. Actually, it's not a comfort zone, but let's move on. The smell of chlorine filled the air. Kids were splashing around water like they had no fear of death, which I found very concerning. And there I was in the terrifying 4 feet of water, gripping my kickboard so tightly that my knuckles were whiter than the tiles of the swimming pool. I wasn't swimming. No, I was surviving. Every move was calculated. One hand on the railing, one hand on the kickboard, one eye constantly watching the deep end like it was a portal to another dimension. But my instructor, he clearly thought I had greater potential. So one fine day, he came to me and said, "Okay, Sithushi, now let's jump." Jump into the water voluntarily. My 9-year-old brain went into complete panic mode. Jump? Why should I jump? I've already been in the water. This is unnecessary risk. This is poor decision making. This is exactly how accidents happen. But coach, he was already counting. 3. Okay, this is it. This is the end. Goodbye. 2. I should have just stayed at home and slept. 1. Now what was supposed to happen was a tiny little jump forward into the water, right? But what actually happened? What actually happened was physics. Panic driven, chaotic physics. Instead of jumping forward like a normal person, I lunged sideways to the nearest solid object I could find, which happened to be my instructor. And in one smooth, synchronized motion, we both fell into the water. Now, when we came up for air, I realized something very important. I was alive. I was in the water, yes. I was clinging to my coach like a backpack he never asked for. But I was fine, I was breathing. And that's when I realized that this enemy I thought was actually not my enemy. Now looking back, I believe that was the moment I learned to finally let go. Because think about it, we all have railings in our lives, right? Things that we desperately hold on to because they provide us comfort, because it's safe and we feel in control. But growth doesn't happen when you're on the railing holding on. And life has this very funny way of pushing you beyond your limits, providing you with, I don't know, so many opportunities, sudden responsibilities, chaotic moments, and suddenly you're in the water. No perfect plan, no preparation, nothing. No coach, no kickboard, no railing. But you have to survive. But what we do is we refuse to let go of those railings simply because of one tiny thing. We don't know what's beyond that railing, and we think, okay, if I let go, I'm done. I won't be okay. So what we do is we stay on the edge, we watch our friends jump forward, swim forward and achieve their goals, while we are in the edge holding on to our railings and thinking, okay, I'll do it next time. But that's not how growth should work. So now, whenever I look back to that moment where I was being a very dramatic child and doing the most embarrassing thing of my life, I don't just laugh at my stupidity. I remember it as the moment I learned that I should stop being a barnacle and start to become a dolphin. Thank you.